Welcome back to Starting the Trade. Today, we'll be incorporating plenty of math into our conceptual framework of risk management. This will help us understand, quite bluntly, how traders cannot rely on luck in the long term. Trading needs a scientific and systematic approach in order for us to be consistently profitable. That's the goal, isn't it? To make money consistently, not just once or twice. Well then, let's dive right in. Let's first talk about the relationship between win rate and R multiple. As traders, our profitability is a direct function of our historical win rate and our average R multiple. Remember from the last section that this is the actual outcome of the trade, not the expected returns we'd like to see. In order for a trader to be profitable long term, he or she will need to fall into one of the three categories. This trader's setups either have a high win rate but a lower R multiple, a lower win rate but a high R multiple, or in the best case scenario, a high win rate and a high R multiple. Traders who are not profitable, on the other hand, will likely fall into the low win rate and low R multiple setups. Now let's take a look at the math behind profitability. Here we have the break-even formula. This formula tells us what win rate is required in order for us to break even, based on our average R multiple. Now our R multiple can only be derived from a thorough look at our historical trading data. This will all make a lot more sense as we get into journaling towards the ends of the lesson. For now, let's take a peek at the math. With an R multiple of 1, meaning that we stand to earn the same amount as our initial risk, we need a win rate of at least 50% in order to break even. This is similar to flipping a coin heads or tails. If we risk $1 and stand to earn $1 if we win, we'll need to make the right guess at least 50% of the time. Now what happens if our R multiple is only 0.5? That means we only earn half a unit for the full unit of risk we take. Well, we see now that we have to win 67% of the time, or more than 2/3, in order to break even. Now let's take a look at how this changes when our R multiple is 2. Meaning we earn 2 units for every unit of risk that we take. In this scenario, the required win rate is only 33%. That means we only need to be right 1/3 of the time in order to break even. Are you starting to see the trend here? As we return larger multiples on our risk, the required win rate to break even diminishes quickly. This is what most traders strive for. We look for asymmetric trade setups, where we stand to earn multiples greater than 1 on every trade we take. By taking these kinds of setups, we increase the odds of breaking even and eventually becoming profitable. Now, it goes without saying that just because we take asymmetric setups, that doesn't necessarily mean that the probability of them working out in our favor correlates. In fact, newer traders usually have no idea what the win rate on any one of their trades are. Now this is where the power of journaling will become even more apparent as we move forward. For now, let's shift gears and move on to some more blunt realities. Let's talk about drawdowns. Now, no trader likes to talk about drawdowns, but if we ignore this reality, we stand to lose a lot more than our ego over the long term. As we can see here, a drawdown of 5% requires us to earn back 5.3% in order to recover. A 20% drawdown actually requires 25% return in order to get back to break even. You see what I'm getting at? This is why risk management is so crucial when it comes to trading. If we start risking larger percentages of our portfolio, it will become harder and harder to recover if a trade goes against us. This is why sizing our trades effectively is of paramount importance. With that said, let's move on and talk about yet another painful truth in trading. Let's talk about statistics for a second. This table here gives you a great idea of what you can expect as a trader. What's that? Did you think you can run from math and statistics? Well, my friend, it's time to make you blatantly aware of what can happen as you trade. Depending on your win rate, here are the statistical chances that you will eventually go on a losing streak. With a win rate of 50%, there is a 3% chance that you will go on a 5-trade losing streak. That means that at any point in time, there's a 3% chance that you will lose the next 5 trades in a row. Yes, even if you're on a hot streak and compounding your portfolio like crazy, there is a non-zero chance that you will go on a losing streak. You can see just how much that percentage increases the lower your win rate. Now, with this in mind, how do you think traders survive and make careers out of trading with these very real odds stacked against them? It comes down to one thing: your trading system. In the more advanced course, we will talk at length about how to create and define one system. For now, however, all you have to remember is that with these statistical probabilities, traders have to craft and rely on their system in order to avoid financial ruin when they eventually go on a losing streak. And make no mistake, losing streaks are inevitable. Let's move on and talk a little bit more about drawdown and how we relate that to our capital allocation. Here we see exactly what happens depending on how much static risk we take per trade setup. If you're starting to notice anything, it's the need to limit your drawdown as much as possible. You'll remember from the last section that returns are never guaranteed. We can only predefine our risk. With that said, we'll notice the obvious. The more we risk, the larger the drawdown becomes over time. Well, it's not all doom and gloom. Let's switch gears for a sec and talk about the bright side of trading. Let's talk about compounding. The power of compounding cannot be understated. It's the allure that draws everyone to the idea of becoming a full-time trader. Compounding is quite literally how traders make a living. We'll notice what happens when we use our theoretical portfolio of $10,000 and apply some trading statistics. With an average win rate of 55%, an average R multiple of 2, and a static risk of 2%. Look what we have here. That looks like a profitable system I can get behind. How about you? Now let's pause for a minute and do a quick recap before we move on to the next lesson. As mentioned earlier, we'll want to start thinking in terms of percentages, not notional amounts. Since we cannot run from math, we might as well start embracing it. Let's not forget losing streaks are inevitable. We will need to trust our system to get us through periods of drawdown. Now, understanding the relationship between win rate and our average R multiple will help us craft profitable trading systems. And lastly, compounding is absolutely no joke. And when we are finally able to craft a profitable trading system, we may feel like we have stumbled upon the holy grail of trading. Let's make no mistake, however, that the holy grail does not exist. I'll repeat that. The holy grail of trading does not exist. However, we can adopt certain frameworks that allow us to utilize the odds in our favor and forge solid trading systems. In the next part, we'll be taking a look at 2 of these concepts and how we can implement them in our trading strategy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.